In Los Angeles, GOP candidates have more backing than people know about. Bret Easton Ellis is the author of American Psycho. He recently tweeted out, quote, "Just back from a dinner in West Hollywood, shocked the majority of the table was voting for Trump, but they would never admit it publicly." Model and actor Antonio Sabato Jr., on with me recently, expressed his admiration and support of Donald Trump.
You got to appreciate the honesty that comes out from Donald's mouth every single time. And, I've been talking to a lot of people here in Los Angeles, and they're backing him up, and they like the honesty. Now, I don't know if they're going to vote for him at the end of the day, but they love the honesty.
The Daily Caller's Chris Bedford is with me now. Chris, thanks for joining me. So why the secrecy?
You have to in Hollywood. Hollywood is a town that's all about fashion. So, gay rights in Moscow may be the fashionable thing, or child labor in China may be the thing that everyone cares about and they have foundations for. But immigration and some of the things that Trump has talked about, that's definitely a no-no. And it's funny that he talked about this. The author of American Psycho, he lost his original publisher because people said that American Psycho was misogynistic and too violent. It is pretty violent. So he's been a victim of censorship himself, although he didn't really weigh in on which side he was on in this argument.
So if you knew, or people knew, that more so-called liberals supported Trump, does that help or hurt Trump?
I think it helps Trump. It's been something that his voters don't seem to be, even if they're ideological, even if they're evangelical, even if they're conservative, they seem to back him no matter what. And they're not really listening to the conservative standard bearers or the liberal standard bearers on it. He gets more of a gut feeling, Donald Trump does. And the polls have shown, all the more interesting, deeper reads of his supporters show that the very conservative Republicans and voters usually side towards Ted Cruz, whereas the very liberal people who identify as Republicans are actually going much more towards Donald Trump because his positions are liberal.
Well, you mentioned Senator Cruz. Donald Trump takes heat from a lot of very conservative people saying that Donald Trump is clearly not a true conservative, but you're saying, listen, he has appeal on both sides. That's just the way he is.
Yeah, he's a populist. I mean, when I was up in New Hampshire with the Daily Caller, and we were in Iowa with the Daily Caller, we were looking around and you're seeing people on the streets with drug addiction problems, people unemployed. There's a lot of communities that have been pretty ravaged right there. And you kind of have a difficulty. A lot of these, especially for the white working class voters, the Democrats are pushing an LGBT and Black Lives Matter agenda. Some people are saying Republicans are pushing a Wall Street agenda. They don't feel like anyone's listening. It was amazing how many people I met were in between Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, who are two different people who are speaking to disaffected voters.
You are not the only person who has said that, Chris. It just proves it is an outliers race, at least so far. Chris Bedford, thank you so much.